Hello and welcome to another edition of Monday Motivation with Bukola. It's a show about inspiration, women empowerment, beauty, business, money, health, culture, entertainment, and advocacy. And I'm your fabulous host today. And of course, this episode brings you another fabulous author from Lipstick, Lip Balm and Literacy virtual book reading series on Facebook. And she is Neda Renee, the author of Come Here Girl, Let Me Talk to You, a 30-day journal for girls about self-discovery. Neda brought us a lot of information and value in terms of girl education and self-discovery, especially building girls as leaders. She catches them young from pre-teen. She works with girls from elementary school to high school. Even some of them are already in college. And she's helping build young leaders among the girls in our community. But then, as we roll on the show, the motivational quote of today is actually from moi. So this quote came to me this morning, and it says, I may be broken, but I am beautiful. I hope you can say that to yourself. I may be broken, but I am beautiful. What is it you have gone through? Have you gone through life experiences that are not good and you think it's the end of the world, or somebody has even hurt you and it has shattered you? Don't worry. I want to encourage you today that you may be broken, but you are still beautiful. I returned from Wisconsin. I came from a retreat, and at that retreat I learned about the Japanese bowl, where when the bowl is broken, they don't throw it away. Instead, they glue it together and put gold on it. But of course, this is not real gold, it's just gold paint. And I put together a broken bowl thanks to the convent in Wisconsin. Let's hope I'm able to put their name on the screen for you. I'm really glad that I was able to be a part of that 2-day retreat. I got there really late, but it was a really good retreat for reflection, for rebuilding, and helping one to embrace oneself. So I encourage you today to embrace yourself. Pick your pieces together, glue them together, and see yourself as beautiful from inside out. But guess what? Also, Rita Apalu had a book launch last week, Thursday, and I will bring you clips from her book launch in this episode also. So stay with me, don't go away, and let's go and listen to Neda.
Thank you, Lord. I am saying thank you. Jesus, thank you. Jehovah, thank you. Baba, glory, Baba,
all right. Thanks so much. Thank you, my fabulous author this morning, Neda Renee. Welcome to another fabulous Lipstick, Lip Balm and Literacy virtual book reading series here on Facebook Live. And I'm your fabulous host this morning, Bukola, Oriola. And of course, I have a super fabulous guest in the house. She is Neda Renee, and she's the author of, I love that title, Come Here, Girl. Let me talk to you. Let me take that again. It says, come here, girl, let me talk to you. Wow. Yeah. You have to tell us how you came about that title. So, our author, she has 20 years of experience coaching teens and pre-teens to be leaders in their various communities. As a teen, as someone who has gone through that phase herself as a teenager and has experienced some of the challenges that teenagers face, she has decided to dedicate her life to coaching them before they even get to become teenagers, so that when they are teenagers, they can be leaders in their various communities. So she takes the time to coach them one-on-one and in group setting. And you know, it's quite interesting that even you have been doing this for a long time, 20 years that you've been doing this. Whoa, that is a very long time. And thank you so much for focusing on teens. And then also, the teens are specifically the Black girls in the community.
Right.
So my first question will be, how did you get into that, and why Black girls?
Well, first of all, like I think I was born into it. I am the second oldest of 54 first cousins on my dad's side and about 30 on my mom's side. And so just being the big cousin kind of has played a lot of that role. We grew up very close in a very village type of family. My grandmother lived in the projects and all my aunts lived around her. My dad lived more so like in the suburbs, but we always were at my grandparents' house or my grandma's house. And so just growing up in that environment. And then my other grandmother, like, she raised me when my mom was at work. You know, it was like, you know, you go to grandma's house when mom go to work, and I went to school from Gram's house. And so just that village environment and watching my aunts and how they all made things happen together. My grandmother's being the head of the families, and then coming out of my mother having a mental illness at 12 years old, her breakdown was when I was 12, and then playing more of like a motherly role to my younger brother has always been like that mentoring space for me. And so when I left home at 18, I had to figure life out by myself, or, you know, like I just had to navigate it, and God just kind of blessed me to put people in my life that mentored me along the way. And so when I actually kind of got my bearings and started working in a charter school here in Minnesota, I saw girls who kind of were going through the same things that I was going through, and they were Black girls. So I definitely could relate to their story. And so actually I had a girls group before I moved here because I owned a salon. And so my thought was, as the moms were talking about their daughters in the bowl, I was like, that's me. So I get it. So let me just take care of y'all daughters, you know, in a group setting, have some real conversation around that. And then the girls would come to my salon to get rewarded. And so when I moved up here, I already had the layout. And so just moving into the school and seeing the disarray of the girls, it was like, I just might as well redo it up here in Minnesota. So it's been a natural space for me because I know that feeling.
Wow, you know, something interesting you just said was the fact that you had a salon, right? So we have that in common.
Yes, yes.
With my hair braiding business. So how did you get, because even though we're talking about books and literacy, we also bring in a little bit of, you know, experience and knowledge in the mix for the audience. So what led you into salon business? Was it something that you found yourself in, or it was something you were interested in, you were curious and you wanted to try it, and you got into the salon business?
I think entrepreneurship has always been in my spirit. Like I worked in corporate. I worked, that life just wasn't for me. Like the structure of having to sit and have a structured day versus being able to create my way, I enjoyed the creating my way more. And so I just took the plunge. Like it was just, I think it was innate for me, I think. And it's been an easy space for me, you know, like I think with my mom having a mental illness, and then like before that, like when her and my father divorced and my mom moved around so much and I went to so many different schools, like I learned how to communicate and how to make friends, like because I had to. So building relationships has been easy for me, you know. So in business, like it's just a natural space to want to see people grow as well as be able to build relationships to be able to make it work, because you know you can't do it by yourself, right? And so, you know, just being able to articulate what's needed, and then have a vision as well, like believe in the vision. So along my journey, God has always like been there with me. So like just knowing that, okay, that when I take that step, that stair is going to be there out of the faith has just been like a natural space for me.
Great. We are going to come to the vision in a minute. You mentioned vision. We're going to come to that in a minute. I want to pause here and acknowledge Dr. Atika Taina of
Yes.
People Growing Justice and the Associate Vice President of Diversity and Inclusion at St. Thomas University. She made this connection. She
Yes.
connected me to you, and I'm really thankful for that. And also
So
the earrings I'm wearing today, she gave them to me. So this, I'm wearing Ghana right now. She brought this from Ghana, and also the bracelet from Ghana. So thank you so much, Dr. Tina, because she's also, you talked about connection and communicating and connecting with people generally. Dr. Tina is such a great person that does that, connecting people in the community. So I'm really grateful for this connection she made. So you mentioned vision. Are you one of those who also have a vision board?
yeah, I have like 8 or 9 of them. Yes, every year I do my vision board. We actually do vision board with the girls, and part of my business is I do one-on-ones to make sure that young girls have a vision and write them down so they document their visions.
So when we talk about vision, because vision is something that a lot of people talk about, including those who have become very successful. Some of them have passed away, some still alive, and they talk a lot about vision, vision board, and even the Bible for Christians, it talks about vision too, and writing it down. So in terms of the vision, what would you recommend be in a vision or on your vision board if you are putting, because I see a lot of just pictures of maybe houses, celebrities, and all of that on a vision board? What would you recommend should be those elements that should be on a vision board?
Yeah, so this is my sweet spot. I love doing vision boards. So what I normally do is the first thing is a statement that somebody's going to stand on. So what is that statement or that word that you're going to stand on for the year? And we do 12 months at a time, so that we take the 12 months and we break it down into quarters, right? And so what we focus on in my organization in Project Diva with the middle school and high school girls is 6 focus areas, seven focus areas. So academic, social, emotional, financial, wellness, career, and if they want to put spirituality down, then they're able to put spirituality down. That's something, being an organization, we can't force that, but we do make sure that we share why it could be important. But once they put those focus areas down, then it's okay, because those focus areas pretty much run the gamut of how we live our daily lives, right? In some way throughout your day, you're going to touch on one of those areas. And so after they put those focus areas down on their board, then we have them put 1 to 3 visions that they have for themselves over the year, and then put the pictures to complement that. But we make sure that they have the actual words, because God does say, write it down and make it plain. And I've noticed that over the years, I went from all pictures to articulating with words what I want to see, or what I plan to see on my vision board. And that has allowed for more of my visions to come into fruition than anything.
Wow, I really like that, because most of the time I just see people doing vision board party and all of that, and all they have going on is just some random magazines and all of that pasting together on something. There is no
Exactly.
writing. So I like how you said, writing it down.
Mm-hmm.
Writing it in addition to the picture, what would you say that has done for you?
What that has done for me, it has allowed for it to play over in my head, because what I do is I put them on canvases, and I have all the girls put them on canvases, so it becomes a work of their own art as well. And then they put it on their walls, and it's something that you walk past every day. So with knowing what you've written, when you put the words along with the writing, now you can have that snapshot of what that word is reminding you of on that vision. So for me, it has allowed for it to continually play along with how I feel about it, because that's another key component of it. Is you can write all day, but if you don't feel that it's actually going to happen, that, or you don't feel it happening already, then that's gonna put a barrier between you and the vision. So it's the feeling of it already happening, along with believing that it's going to happen, and then seeing it on a consistent basis every day.
Wow.
So for me, it has brought together, I mean, my life just keeps manifesting. And so I'm excited about life right now, actually, a lot.
Thanks. So, right now, how many girls are you working with?
Currently, we're working with 30 girls. We have 15 dolls, which are our elementary school girls that we added about 3 years ago. And then there's 15 middle school and high school girls.
Wow, elementary girls from what
Yeah,
grade?
first through sixth.
Wow, I wish my son is a girl now. Can boys come?
We felt it was very important to, of course, do some prevention, right? It's all about preventative. And the earlier we can get to the girls, the longer they can grow into their self-confidence, their self-worth, and their self-regulation through guidance on a continual basis. And a lot of parents are way more engaged when they're younger. And so our moms for our elementary school girls are totally engaged. Actually, all of our parents are, because it's a part of our program. We literally are a village. And so our parents cook our meals for us, which is super exciting because we get good home cooked meals. And then the parents feel like they're a part of it as well. But our elementary school girls, they actually are in the sessions and they're guiding the conversations with all of the daughters in the program. So it really brings about different perspectives, and it allows for other girls to see other girls shining, which helps out a lot. So.
Oh, thanks. So now let's get into the book. Come here, girl. Let me talk to you. So,
Yeah.
wow. Nice. Nice. Please, can you raise it up again? And what informed the idea of that title, first of all? Come here, girl. How did you come about that?
It just kind of came to me, actually. I was working with a couple ladies who were reviewing my book, and they were like, you need to really pay attention to what you're saying to the girls. Like, you need to really have a title that is really speaking to them. So we kind of molded around, and I was like, I'm always talking to them like, come here, girl, let me talk to you. And so they were like, that's it. That's it. So it really speaks to the book being a 30-day journal. Like, it's for me, what I've noticed is that there's a lot of noise in the world, right? And our kids are growing up with social media being way more vast than what it was for us. And so giving girls an opportunity to take a day to think about a topic and write down what their perspective is so that they can begin to define it for themselves is the whole gist of the book. And the way that I talk to the girls in the book is like from an auntie stance. So all of the chapters or all of the days are like, girl, come here, let me talk to you. Okay, so about this is what I was thinking when I was your age. So why don't you think about this? And then how do you feel about it? So there's like 3 different components to every day. It's the topic, it's a challenge, and then it's a space where they actually can write down what they feel about it. And so it's really like a come here, girl, let me talk to you. Like, and I'm there with them. So it's pretty cool.
Oh, so how has the girls received this journal? How has it worked for them?
They're liking it. They're enjoying having the space. And what I've worked on really hard too is that if a parent buys the book for their girl, like, I'm encouraging them to take time to like actually ask them about what they read. So then it becomes dialogue between moms and daughters or dads and daughters also to hear what the girls are thinking. So it's not just you buy the journal for your girl and she goes off and she does it, but it's more of like a conversation piece as well. So that parents and girls have been liking it.
And this journal is for what age range?
It's middle school and high school and that early college age. So like first year, second year of college.
Yeah. So people like us cannot use it.
You can. I have a lot of adults reading it too. They're like, please write one for us. But they've been really taking it and taking their time to actually refresh and think about some of these things as well.
Do you have like maybe a group reading exercise for the girls to reflect on their writings and share ideas with one another as they use this journal?
So my book was just released in April, and so I'm still trying to figure out ways to make
Congratulations.
it happen. So in my organization this year, that's our plan. Our plan is to use it as part of our curriculum, and I'm really kind of fleshing out the rest of it. So lately, I've been doing book signing skating parties because I didn't want a boring book signing for girls, and so I held one here in Minneapolis, and my next one will be in Omaha September 10th. I'm sorry, September 2nd, Labor Day weekend. And I'm doing a workshop prior to that, just for like 20 girls, and then inviting all of Omaha girls to come to the skating party. So I'm working through like how this can actually like really benefit groups of girls, maybe some book clubs, you know, that
Yes.
adults can start for their little girls, you know, to actually have some conversation around it. So I'm fleshing it out still.
Yeah. Very nice. I love the idea of writing every day and even including the challenges and then reflecting on that. So what would you say is the most challenge that teenagers have that a parent should watch out for to help the teenager become a responsible young adult in the community?
I think what's being overlooked is that our kids really do have a voice. And instead of parents looking to discipline while guiding, parents looking to more so like give their kids space to actually have some real dialogue around things that are going on around them. A lot of times we look at it as we're the parent and they're the kids. But it's more so like really taking time out to really ask their kids how their day has been, not just how was school, but like what was the conversation with some of your teachers? What kind of were some of the conversations in the class? What did you learn? What did you like about it? What didn't you like about it? Is this fit for you in school? You know, like really having some conversations, because it's more so like we throw them into a situation because that's the way the world says we're supposed to, opposed to really taking the time to see what gifts your child has and how to match those up with the things that they need for their journeys. My oldest son's father just joined, and he has been a very great co-parent with me, with our oldest kid, and we've actually given him a lot of space to grow because we've had some real dialogue about him and what he wants to do. So thanks for joining, Levon.
Wow.
Just out there.
I like the idea of giving kids a voice. I think uh, maybe it's a cultural thing because even in my culture thing too, kids are just like seen as kids. And
Mm-hmm.
just like we think all we can do is just to help them, guide them not to get into trouble and all
Right.
that. We don't think about just talking to them and asking them questions or even having them challenging us to ask
Exactly.
questions why we do certain things or why we reacted in a certain way, or to even hear them why they did certain kind of thing. So would that be an advice we give to young or new parents to make sure even before they become teenagers to be talking
Mm-hmm.
to?
Exactly. I just one of my girls graduated this year from both my program and high school, and one of the things that I went to go see her last night because she leaves for college next Friday. One of the things that she said was, she said, I was so over high school because the immaturity of other students, right? She said, but mostly because the college classes that I've taken this summer have given me an opportunity to voice my opinion. Like in high school, you don't get to voice your opinion. You literally have to listen to the teacher and then do what they say or to read and then regurgitate what you read, opposed to really having some dialogue around the topics that we're talking about. And that's really it. And our kids have like our elementary school girls have a lot of conversation for us. Like if you just sit back and listen to them, they have a lot of vision, they have a lot of dreams, they know what they're talking about. So respecting that they do understand what they're talking about, and then helping them grow into who they want to become.
Wow, what you just said looks like it's something that is societal. It's not just, in the homes or cultural thing in the home, but it's something that is bigger than just in a home setting. Because
Mm-hmm.
you just said something really significant by saying one of your girls talked about how in high school is different from college. So would you recommend that teachers also start recreating their curriculum from elementary school to high school, where their curriculum is giving more opportunity to dialogue while the kids are learning?
Most definitely. I think that, and I think teachers, a lot of teachers know that. I mean, how many of us adults really can sit for 8 hours and listen to teachers? I mean, or listen to our boss. Like, there's time when you want to listen and then you want to go and do it, right? So
Yes.
kids are more so that way because they have so much energy and so excitement about life that they need to be able to get the information and then apply it while in those settings before they get out here and have to try to figure it out, right? So definitely, I mean, the more teachers or instructors, and even the surrounding staff at the schools can give kids an opportunity to explore or use their minds, the more kids will be in tune with what they need to be learning in school.
Wow. So, Project Diva, that's your organization, right?
Correct.
Project Diva. Was it something you started in Minnesota or something you brought in from another state?
I brought it from Omaha.
And how long has it been now?
So it's been official with my 501c3 for the last 10 years. So this is our 10th year.
Wow, congratulations. Oh my goodness.
Thank you. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. What would you say has been your greatest challenge in the past 10 years?
Financial. Raising the funds to cover the costs, cover my costs, covering assistance costs, just running the business. Nonprofit is that world where you have to fundraise. And so we've been more heavier on the programming side to make sure that it works, that it was working and changing lives of girls and their families. And so for the last probably two years, we focus more on like the fundraising side of it. And so it's always been the financials. When it comes to the girls, anytime a parent doesn't have as much buy-in in the girls staying in the program, that's always been a issue, because if kids aren't pushed or don't understand the value of it, sometimes they'll lose sight because they're still trying to figure themselves out. So in regards to the girls, I think that would be like the most challenge. And that's part of programming also, like trying to figure out how to get parents to buy in, showing the parents the value of what their child is getting in regards to personal development. Because a lot of times, a lot of programs, we don't have like authentic personal development for kids, right? It's more of sports. So we come from the perspective of like, look, this is a personal development program for your child so that they can begin to get it earlier. And we co-parent with you. Like we're the village. So we're going off of your lead as a parent to be able to help you and your daughters grow. So those are probably the biggest challenges is parent buy-in and financials, funding.
With non-profit, financial happens to always be one of the main challenge, as much as that is the main backbone for a non-profit to be successful. And having been in non-profit for 10 years, what would be your advice for someone who is thinking right now to go into the non-profit sector by starting his or her own non-profit organization?
I would say focus on programming strongly to make sure that it does make sense, as well as a fund development team early. So identify a fund development team, a grant writer, somebody who can do research, someone who can make sure that your thank yous and all of those things, go out in a timely manner, somebody do social media, right? So a fund development team and then a programming team that can bring a well-rounded program to kids. That can be very consistent, because another thing is that, our kids, they love consistency. When they can see that, they can believe in the mission and they can have a lot more buy-in as well.
Wow, you just mentioned something really cogent, consistency. And there is a challenge of money. So what would be your advice for someone brand new or someone going into nonprofit in terms of navigating through consistency and funding?
So Mentoring Partnerships of Minnesota has been one of my foundations, and I believe they are nationwide. So I would suggest getting with an organization that can help with the foundation of the organization. Well, they're a mentoring program. So, depending on what organization or what type of organization you're getting into, if it's mentoring with kids, for sure, mentoring partnerships in Minnesota or something similar to that. So Minnesota Council on Nonprofits. So I would suggest getting with a national organization that has a vast array of information to at least allow to help you hone in on what your structure should look like first. So, and then they also have opportunities for you to go to classes, of course, for nonprofit development. So I would definitely say, like, before you take the plunge, do your research.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much. What will be your main message today for those who are brand new authors like you, or those who want to write their book?
I would say, first of all, do it. Because the question that I get the most is like, how did you get started? I just started writing. So I would say, start writing. Don't worry about the grammar. Don't worry about the chapters. Just start writing and getting it out. And then I use the packager. A lot of people use publishers. I use the packager, which also is, they do publishing, but I had done a lot of the work for my book. So I had, pretty much put it into the chapter format that I wanted, and the packager proofread it. They helped me with my book cover. I use Fiverr also for my book cover, and then they help print it. So it's not hard. So I would suggest, first of all, getting it out on paper, like get it done, and then get your reviewers, and then just go for it. And I would put aside about $2,500 to $3,000 to get it done, because it doesn't take a lot. And you make that money back if you're good. If it's a good topic, you'll make your money back. So,
you just talked about Fiverr, Fiverr, and I went to a book signing the other day, and she also talked about Fiverr. Fiverr is a platform where you can get a lot done now, hiring different.
Well, graphic designing, writing your book, uploading your book to Amazon, like they do all of it, and it starts at $5.
Nice. So, can we get this book on Amazon?
Not yet. So I'm working on that. So right now, they can get it on my website, which is
for our live viewers and those who will be watching the replay. It's in the description. I put the link, the direct link to the book, and the link to our website in the description of this video. So please click and go get your copy for your daughter, your niece, your sister, and yourself.
Yes.
Because we all can learn from this journal, even though it says for girls, but we all can learn something from it. If we look backwards, we'll see, some of those things, the things we could have done better, that we can even improve upon as adults. So click on that link and go get your copy. And for those of you who are on YouTube, it's also going to be in the description. So go in the description. And for those of you watching at home, voila, it's there on the screen for you. So just punch it in your computer or on your phone right away while it's there on the screen. So you can get your own copy and learn more about how to develop your teenager into a responsible leader in the community. You said now it's so easy to do your book. You don't need to worry about chapters first. Just keep writing and writing. So would you say somebody needs to write a lot before they start thinking about putting the chapters together of what they've written, or
I would say
how much they've written?
I would say write the book, like from beginning to end, and then take the time to go back, review your book, and then in the meantime be reaching out to publishers that you can begin to create that relationship with them to understand what they need for you to upload it, so that they can begin to do their part. So it's like that collaborating along the way. But I would say write your book in total, and then reread it to make sure it's pretty much where you want to be, and then the packager or the publisher will take you the rest of the way with them.
Wow, nice. You heard that. Publisher or packager will take you the rest of the way. Just put your stuff together and don't be afraid. It's so easy. And congratulations again, is your
Thank
Facebook. We're looking
you.
forward to the next one. We want one for women.
I'm working on it.
We want one for women. And I know your focus is on girls, but we also want one for boys. Let's not
I
leave boys behind. Yes, let's not leave boys behind. We care about the girls, but we also cannot leave the boys behind. So please, I hope that you can have a little bit like a side dish for boys.
I'm working seriously.
Oh, thank you so much. It's been so fun having you this morning. So, what will be your last word for our audience?
Well, first, I want to thank you for having me. I want to give a shout out to my sons because I don't have daughters. I do have sons, AJ and TJ. And I just want to say writing a book is an amazing journey. It helps you with product if you are an aspiring motivational speaker or you just want to help those in your community. So I would say don't shy away from making it happen. I know there's a lot of people out there that's writing. So follow your vision and follow your dream and make it happen.
Oh, thank you so much. So, you've heard it. Follow your dream and follow your vision to make it happen for you. Thank you so much again for joining us today. And if you are watching the replay, thank you so much too for watching this replay. And all our live viewers that joined in, I saw some people pop in and pop out. Thank you so much. And if you have questions from watching the replay of this video, kindly write your questions in the comments. We will get that question, and Neda will be glad to answer your questions. Thank you. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you. Talk to you later.
All right. Bye-bye. So we go with music. Oh, my goodness. We forgot our lipstick today. Oh, I don't know what she's wearing. But today, I'm wearing Wet and Wild. I'm wearing 3, Bukola. So, I'm wearing Wet and Wild. What number is it? 527B. That's what I'm wearing today. I'm wearing Sapphire Siren 835. This one is kind of like purple. And I'm wearing Violet Vicine Bold Audacious. This one is kind of like purple too. They're just different shades of purple and the pink. So until next week, thank you so much, my fabulous people. Bye bye and have a nice weekend. I know you all are going to really enjoy that when you get to the topic tonight. So it's about the African Women Connect. I'm going to read a script. Pardon me, I don't like reading because I don't know how to read, but I'm trying my best. That's why we are here for book reading, right? So that we can
Right.
So I came here to learn tonight. So this book was inspired by Richard's passion around the plight of women and her curiosity around African women. African women like her, how they were faring despite being away from strong support systems and now living in the American society and culture. Very different from where they were raised from. How many people are from Africa here tonight? You see, is it the same like home, if I may ask? No. No. The obvious one is the coming soon. Who can guess?
Winter.
Aha!
I'm going to introduce you to the next part, and you can't be shy, okay? This part, we are going to be doing an activity. The activity that we would like you to join in is one that is a conversation builder. So we'll work on this activity maybe for about 10 minutes, and it is called the Constructed Community. And you might be thinking, what in the world is a constructed community? It's one that is voluntarily created or developed. And that is different from the traditional and the orthodox notion of a community, one that is rural with distinct geographic and population boundaries, small and based on farming, fishing, or similar technologies. So, we're going to break out of the box and discard that model, which is outlived. And we know that because we're all traveling and building all kinds of communities. So new communities are being created and developed like AWC, African Women Connect. So these are the questions that we would like for you to discuss when you get in your small groups. I'm a teacher, so this is my favorite part. So there are 3 questions. The first one is, what kind of community would you like to construct and why? The second one, what characteristics or elements will make this community successful? And the third one, what could be some challenges in forming this community? So we invite your suggestions and brainstorming. We would like for you to mix and mingle with someone that you don't know, meet a new friend, and we're going to take 10 minutes. So don't be shy. Let's start. Don't all run at once.
Hello, community. What community is this? Hello.
The island community.
I love that. The island community.
Yeah. So you're going to talk about what kind of community you want to construct and why.
Hello. Is this a community?
Yes, it is.
What community is this?
And then what
We're working on it. We're working on this community, a diverse community.
The diverse community. I love that.
So we have to. It's good, but it's a big word. It's a big word. So we say that.
Hello, community. What community is this? Huh? Does your community have a name?
Not yet. We didn't name it. Well, we supposed to name it? They mentioned something about fishing.
So the fishing community?
No, I don't know.
You know, different opinions from other people, and just learning how to work together. No one is really better than the other. Everybody's kind of equal.
About, some of the work that she's done with this project and just how isolated we feel. And it's not just as women, but as mothers. I was telling about how I raise my kids. I'm from South Africa, and raising my children away from my mom is the hardest thing because you raise them in isolation, and then you're sort of disconnected from your family. And then even here, we're so busy, like you're saying, so you don't have time to connect with your sisters. So I just thought creating this space for sisters to connect is very essential, but is it enough? You know, it's the isolation is really so. Yeah. So I kind of echo what you're saying about. Yeah.
So our brother here is kind of
That's some of the basic things that they get from somebody's culture and understanding that background.
And you can't really engage because you don't know.
Right.
You don't know.
It goes back to what you said about team. We should identify with health and inclusiveness. Because if you have one population sick or one well, that's going to be so everybody got to be healthy so everybody else can be healthy. You know, it's like, it's nothing about kids and parents. If the parent not healthy, they can't keep the kid healthy. But yeah, there's less social.
I was just going to see the community
So what motivates you to form the community that benefits the team of that community? That's something I experienced in my professional life. I have a lot of friends who are international friends, and so now I have my community of more aware professional. We all kind of have to be different. It doesn't matter where we are, but it's also about community to support each other. So we have from Nigeria, Cameroon, Sierra Leone, Liberia, Kenya, Moses. It doesn't matter who we are born. We support each one of us and are connected. So we didn't see the country at that time. We saw what benefited us as a community in that time. So you might just know where you are.
So we're looking at, probably creating a community, first of all, of professional Africans.
Exactly, yeah, we're connected, but we're not in relationship.
So you're moving forward.
That's a problem. Yep. Like, guilty. I have like 700 friends. That's not a lot.
Okay, about 1 minute.
And then weekend you wake up and you're like, I don't know what to do.
Okay, it's time to come back in. Thank you for breaking out into your groups. I think I saw about 5 groups. So, if we could get a representative, an ambassador, a trailblazer from your group that wants to talk about what you discovered. How did it go? You want to share your experiences. Yes. So pop up, we're going to maybe take some notes. All right, sir. Please introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Bukola, and Rita and myself, we've been classmates from 4th grade.
Wow.
We finally ended up here in the States, so we come a long way, and we live, 2 houses apart. Yeah. Okay, so, basically it's like we look at the kind of community we wanted to construct here, and we thought about diverse community, community that is diverse and accepting of one another. And in order to achieve that, we kind of place a focus on professional role models, people who can come together with the same common idea to promote one another within that setting. And in order to do that, we have to have a leadership, that will, push forward our ideas. And in doing that, we have to be supportive, and that leadership can also empower other people too. And one of the things we saw as a constraint in forming our community is just, every big thing that we experience here, trying to strike that balance between work and, family life. So we see as a constraint here.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, are the leaders in your community only men, or is it
Oh no,
fair game?
it's diverse, so
Okay.
it's male and female.
All right. Okay, just checking. All right. Anyone else? Who's next? All right.
Hi, my name is Sammy Joseph Fredericks, and how I know Rita, known Rita for a while through her sister Wookie. Wookie and I were classmates in high school back in Liberia. So for our community, we definitely thought it would be great to have a community that was engaging the members of the community. And we thought that was important because that way you live in a community, you understand the needs of the community, and you understand where strengths, the different strengths of the people that you have in the community. In case, you need to do something, you want to, you have a project or something, understand that, okay, so I What was the second question?
The second one was, were there any, let's see, let me go back. Any surprises? Any surprises from the community? And trying to be an engaging community. Anything come up?
Well, we talked about the challenges, and some of the challenges. One thing we thought about was just the method of engaging. So you have a community that's large, that's diverse, and you have to understand how to engage different people from different backgrounds. And we're not only women, we're definitely mixed.
Okay. So would your community engage youth, young people, and the elderly? Is it intergenerational?
Yes, everybody.
All right, wonderful. Okay, who's next? Okay.
This is funny, I'm sorry, I can't stand up. I'm not incapacitated at the moment. But because my husband took pity on me, he kind of stayed around because I couldn't go bingo. And so, how do I know Rita? That way, right there. I met the cousin of a childhood friend, which made her by virtue of our culture a sister-in-law. So I moved away from the sister-in-law, but made her a sister-in-law, and for the 5 decades we've been doing it that way. And coming back to the community, we actually started with how we would want to see it. And because my husband and I are not even from the same side of the continent, we started with how we would want Africa to be right now. We would want it strong, we would want it proud of its cultural heritage, and we would want it prosperous. And we don't see that being the case right now. So, in our values, the first meander that you go through to attain that objective is to be strong and united. How do we get Africa united? We may all have our different opinions about it, but it always starts with union. It always starts with us getting our strength together. And that is not happening right now, and there is political and a whole host of other reasons for that. But when you look about the 54 countries that we have, at least 2/3 of them have leaders that were not duly elected, they were just put there. So of course they are coming with somebody. How is it that we federate Africa in a way that it would actually make its children proud is what we expended on? Is that a surprise? I'm sure it's not for most people here. It definitely wasn't for us.
Okay. So could we form communities here, outside of Africa, and from a united standpoint, and show. All right, anyone else?
I think echoing some of the stuff that other people have said, our community didn't get as far as naming or any of that, or to, I think, broadly thought that everyone would be included because we would value everyone for their strengths and what they bring to the community. We talked about connectedness and not just connected in our fancy social media, but like connected in real, like in real life. And then we found points of commonality around how different things are now as opposed to like 30, 40 years ago, even here in Minnesota. So, and comparing that to like some of us who didn't grow up here but grew up in other countries, and there's similarities there. So.
Nice. Okay.
I've known Neda for 20 plus years, so we have been together for that long. So I'm happy today to be here to introduce her. So when you get married to the family, right? So the stories that I have heard about Neda was amazing. Every person I met here in Minnesota, they all talk to me about her love for books, for reading, how she loves to read, and all of those things. And then in 2012, I happened to go to Liberia, where she is from. And then I visited some family members, all of them, when I introduced myself, they said, "Where are you from?" I said, "I'm from Are you with her husband? I'm like, yes. Everything that everybody, that girl can read. All evening, all what she likes to do is just to read. So that was a testimony of what I have also heard from people who knows her here.
Special thanks to all my friends, like everybody in here. So I discovered my love for words very early in my growing up years. I remember like the end of elementary school into early junior high, middle school, just, learned to start loving words. I always loved words. The power of storytelling captured me, and it has never left me. I have enough stuff to do a book, but what is the book going to be about? I did not want to tell people how to do stuff because it's a whole different time. I mean, we didn't have social media like we do now. So, and people do things differently, and so I just thought maybe I could just tell people how I did it. And that's how I sort of came up with the African Women Connect. It's really my principles about why I felt things worked. And some of the things to pay attention to. A lot of things in the book that might seem simple, but again, when you think of values and beliefs and people from different backgrounds coming together, it's not so simple. It gets really complicated. It's really interesting. It's very important to keep those things in mind. So that's what I wrote about. The book is not perfect. Every time I open it, I'm like, oh, I should have said it that way. So it's not perfect, and it was a self-published book. What I learned nowadays, if you're not a celebrity, if people don't know you, and they don't think your book would sell, they're not gonna, agents, they don't want to publish your book. What have you done? Who are you? It's a celebrities only. So self-publishing is great because people get to bring their stories, and stories that we really, really need. So I went to my girl Bukola, and she hooked me up. So if you're writing a book, she can hook you up. I really wanted to be true to me, the book. And so I just wrote like I talk. The people who write like they talk is most appealing to me. So that's what I wanted. And there's some pictures in here. There's some things from the archives on AWC. I have some pictures on the back. Feel free to look at some of those pictures.
I admire you a lot, and I verbalize a lot too. But if you had to do it again, is there one thing you would have made a difference?
It's really hard because it had to be a collaborative effort, right? So people had to feel like they have buy-in. So I couldn't do it just by myself. And one of the reasons why it didn't work is because I needed all these people being part of it, and they just couldn't. So I don't think I would do anything differently. Maybe I'll be more intentional with a certain kind of people.
Wow. I hope you learned as much as I did. Aside from book publishing and our own experience publishing a book, she also talked about non-profit. She talked about leadership in the community among our youth, especially girls, black girls. So I hope that you've taken some of those points and tips with you to encourage your own young ones at home to become leaders. And also, I hope that you enjoyed Rita's book launch. So if you want to do your book, you can also contact me and I can help you do your book. Thank you so much. Until next time on another Monday Motivation with Bukola. God bless you and have a super, super fabulous week. Bye-bye.